Linda Gorton says the 13 people she chose to be a part of the Opioid Abatement Commission offer a wealth of knowledge to find long-term solutions to the opioid crisis here in Lexington.
Commissioners, you have an important job ahead of you.
According to the city, in 2017, Lexington joined thousands of municipalities across the country in filing a lawsuit against manufacturers and distributors of opioids, as well as large pharmacies like Walgreens and CVS. Mayor Gorton says they have fueled the opioid epidemic.
We believed in what the litigation was about, holding these pharmaceuticals' feet to the fire.
Lexington's Commissioner of Law, Susan Speckert, says Kentucky will get $480 million from the settlements reached so far with 4 of the defendants, including Cardinal Health and McKesson. The city says Lexington-Fayette County will get upwards of $16 million of that over the next 20 years.
We didn't want to just use it without a plan. I mean, we could buy millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of Narcan, but that is not a sustainable plan.
The city's new Opioid Abatement Commission will make recommendations to the mayor and council on how to best use the funds. The chair, Dr. Stephanie Ragland, is a licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor. She says they need to combat the rising number of deaths caused by substance abuse.
Families are hurting because every time the phone rings, somebody has died of an overdose, young people.
The commission is made up of other healthcare professionals, attorneys, and Lexington's police chief, Lawrence Weathers.
I believe it's going to take all of us to come together to brainstorm and to come up with advantageous ideas to be able to help in this effort.
Mariah Conjito, WKYT.